Hello and welcome back to another beautiful discussion in the Growth Mindset Collective. And here we are, myself and Nikki Hall. So, welcome everyone. And today's fabulous topic is, where are you? Are you in the open mindset or closed mindset? So, shall we begin?
Hi, Ava.
Hello, Nikki. So, and
Hello.
everybody else who's listening and
Yes.
who's with us today. So good day, everyone. And today we're diving deep into the transformative power of mindset, especially the contrast between the closed mindset and the open mindset. Our mindset shapes not only the way we think and make decisions, but also how we navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and connect with others. So, let's begin by actually defining a little bit what a closed mindset is. So, I'll go a little bit here on the closed mindset, and then Nikki, if you want to take away the open mindedness. So, a barrier to growth, basically. That's what a closed mindset is. So, a closed mindset is characterized by a fixed belief that abilities, intelligence, or personality traits are static and unchangeable. People with closed mindset often cling to what they already know, avoiding challenges, feeling failures, and being defensive when faced with new information. And you know what? I've seen that quite a few times, but sometimes when we listen to songs like, geez, what did I say, right? But no, it's not really that. It's just like, how they're deceiving it. So they tend to view effort as fruitless, and if they don't get immediate results sometimes, and then criticism is often perceived as a personal attack, rather than a constructive input. So, in experience, I have seen that sometimes. So now, Nikki, take it away and tell us what an open mindset is more about.
Well, I didn't prepare the definition of an open mindset, but basically it's totally the opposite of what you said. And one point that I want to bring to mind that's really important if you're being open-minded or closed-minded, and that is that you should really have a goal or something that you have a vision of that you're moving forward to. With that, you're open to growth, to development, to movement, to learning, to avoiding the negativity, to avoiding the dreadful, everyday mundane routine, and so on and so forth. All of that is closed-minded. You'd really be surprised that, as far as mindset's concerned, what open-minded means. Because uh, let's say you're cold and you walk into the house. Somebody closed-minded in our industry would be the person who would have to deal with being cold and trying to get it warm. They would go from cold to warm instead of saying, "Oh, I'm cold," and they go straight to the answer and turn the heat on. Or if you walk into a room and say it's dark and you like try to solve the problem or accept it and live within it and very closed-minded. It's dark. What do? You acknowledge that it's dark, but you go to the answer, and the answer is turn the light on. And that is a very important method or manner of being open-minded that's important for your health, growth, achievement, just a certain level of happiness that continues to carry on through your life.
Exactly. And yes, I opened it with the definition because sometimes people resonate, with definition and going into the discussion about it, because we have different people listening to this kind of conversation. So that's why I thought go this way. And of course, there's different ways of looking at it too. Like for me, I I would say that I've been very lucky because I always believe I have been open-minded throughout my life because I was always that kid that wanted to try this, try that. I was curious. I was adaptable. Yes, certain things may have came up for me, like moving to Canada where I was not adaptable at that time. But what happened over time, that experience actually led me to being more open-minded because now all of a sudden hey, in this new environment. At some point, I had to kind of force myself to be like open-minded because, like, look, that part's not coming back. You are here now. Be open-minded about where you are. You have new opportunities, new people. It may take some time like it did for me in my youth. But you know what? We are adaptable if we let ourselves. And, we do have to trust the process at some point. And that's what I had to do. I had to be open-minded. I had to be adaptable. And I started loving learning and evolving. And now I'm at a point where I absolutely love learning every day, you could say, and seeing what opportunities come my way. And that's why I think personal development is very important, to our health, to our well-being, and everything that comes with it.
Ava, you bring a good point to mind because when you were struggling with that open and closed-mindedness when you were just a child, that was a baby boomer's mentality and inserted social manner of behavior that was absolutely necessary for functioning. And you were like, oh, wow, I'm sure it like hit you right between the eyes. But now we're the baby boomers are not the biggest generation anymore, and we're not as in control as we used to be. The millennials are the biggest population now, and their manner of thinking is completely different. And so as we grow and as we continue to learn and change, we manage to continue fitting in the midstream. And also the new millennials, like you were saying indirectly, like life easier. They're more connected. Like before, we used to have to toe the line. Like we used to have to obey certain things, even if they didn't make sense. The millennials say, why? I'm not going to do that. And they get down to common sense. They get down to serving in a sensible manner because they are constantly learning, they're constantly growing, they're constantly putting in for their life and their kids and the next generations come in. So all of us, millennials included, we really need to adapt a new mindset of being open, which really consists of learning to become a daily learner all your life, really. Just being open to knowing things and understanding the old ritual manner of working, coming home and turning on the TV or that kind of scheduling and that kind of maintaining life is not working. Even the thinkers who advertise today are saying that loudly. It's not working, and it's important that we start generating a manner of being open-minded.
Yeah,
There's all
exactly.
sorts of ways of being open-minded, like meditation, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, there's different techniques, of course, and different things you can use. Sometimes trying a new thing can definitely be a good thing, instead of right away opposing something. But here we're talking, for example, meditation. If one meditation, say, doesn't work for you, or you haven't seen any changes, then try something else, maybe a different technique. Like I've recently been doing Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditation, and wow, definitely. They have put a different spin on my meditation because some of the ones I've done before, I would fall asleep like that. I'm like, well, that didn't really work for me. But in these ones, the technique he uses,
Okay,
it
now
gives
wait a
you easy
minute. Let me
results.
guess. Let me guess. Did you fall asleep at meditation?
I have. I got to
So
a point
many
I
of
was
us
so
have.
relaxed. Boom, I was out like a light. And I'm like, hmm, okay. Gotta try a different and I used to say people, I was like, well, maybe be I was like, no, for me it was just about trying a different style of meditation. And sometimes that's all it is, right? When it comes to,
Yes.
this topic, meditation. But you know what? When you do close your mindset, you lack in creativity, you miss on innovations, you're resisting to certain things, you miss opportunities, basically, the way I see it. And like, there's things in my life, if I didn't do, I can't imagine where I would be now. Like, like Nikki yourself, he's like, hey, this collaboration books we're doing. It's like, what is
Yes.
this you're talking about? So Nikki here got me into writing books, and if I never took that chance, I wouldn't be here, an author like a year later, right? So, sometimes you have to try something, because if you don't, you're just not gonna know where it's gonna take you, could take you potentially, right? So,
Yes. Well, that's a good point because once you start serving in this manner or living in this manner, as you do the steps and as you do the growth and the movement toward what you want to do, where your gifts are best, you realize you don't have to start planning the middle and be so in control of the middle. And then opportunity comes up, like Ava just said. I called her and got on the phone and I'm like, hey, have you thought of this? And no, she hadn't thought of that. But she was doing all the work. She was being open-minded. She looked at it and her quiet voice of her own growth, her own method of distinction, spoke to her, and she said, yeah, I think I like this. So now she's a life that's basically enveloped with this book and with this method of going about business. She does author signings, she has her identity in there, she does all sorts of things. She does podcasts and she interviews people from the books. There's all sorts of venues and roadways that open up for you when you stay open-minded and you're committed to serving who you truly are.
exactly. And, it helps, not just me and myself, but it helps people in my life and my communities, right? After all, we are here to help collectively, not just ourselves, because, I mean, you can do a lot of things just for yourself, but eventually you're gonna feel empty still. It's gonna catch
Yes.
up to you.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to build on that what Eva said. Eva really has a good grasp of mindset and growth and development. So I'm just going to grow from that. And what happens there is you think about things and you grow. And I lost my point.
It's okay. Well, we have so many things on our mind that we want to share that it's just naturally you're already at the next, thing you want to say. So it's okay. We all have so many things we to offer. Nikki
Yeah,
here is an expert in writing as well and doing amazing things. So we want to share as much as we can with you guys. So,
I know I really do. And but Ava has such a depth when she talks, I hear myself going, yeah, what do you mean? Oh, I could elaborate on that. Um, so that I got all excited and then I lost it.
it's okay. See, all great minds,
Yes,
but even
yes,
if you look in people in the past, like Thomas Edison, I'll give you an example. When Edison invented the light bulb, he failed over 1,000 times. If he had had a closed mindset, he would have given up after the first few times, I'm sure. Instead, he saw each failure as a learning opportunity. His open mindset allowed him to persist, ultimately leading to one of the most transformative inventions in history. And even I have a light bulb right now because it's dark where I am. But anyhow, so like, so many people in the past,
yeah.
if they have given up, like Oprah Winfrey even, and I took some notes from that. So Oprah faced numerous rejections and hardships early in her career, but she too could have accepted failures and stayed in the box that the world tried to place her in. But however, she remained open to new possibilities. She did receive feedback, But instead of going in a box with that feedback, which sometimes is negative, she says, no, I'm gonna grow from this. I'm gonna see where I can, turn whatever I'm getting to for greatness, right? So her open mindset not only led her to become a media, uh, you know, uh, queen, but also to inspire millions, not just, 100 millions people globally. So, when you keep that mindset open and you being authentic about it and genuine, it will lead you to the great, great things, I know a lot of people out there who you try to tell them something and like, no, I don't want to hear it. Okay,
Yes.
that's fine. Maybe one day they'll come around it. But see, that's what I call a closed mindset. We all have opinions. I can tell you, hey, Nikki, okay, you like blue. No, I don't like blue. Okay, that's fine. But he's like, well, have you ever looked at it this way or something like that? Or like, you don't have to like the same things, but it's like at least entertain it for it's like, I never thought about blue really, but you know what? It will go well maybe with this or that. So don't shut the door right away on something. Give it
Mhm.
some thought. And even
Yeah.
later, if you do reject it, that's fine. But at least you'll had a chance to look at it. You know, like how kids are. Oh, here, have some broccoli. Ew, mom, I don't want broccoli. Give me like chocolate. But I,
Yeah.
I tell my kids at least try it once. If you don't like it, then it's okay. Like I feel warming up to certain things is one way of approaching closed mindset, and
Yes.
then take a different look, and then after that because hey or you'll love something because you've never tried it, all of a sudden it's like your next best thing. Like I did skydiving one time, and I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I loved it the first time. I don't know if I would do it second time, but I did still like it.
I want to say two things here. When you said the mindset, you said, hey, try this, and people automatically say no. The one thing that we really have to be aware of when we're trying to overcome a closed mindset is that our natural habit, our natural manner of going about is no. Hey, do you want to do this? No. Automatically, that's an innate, bred in the bone response. That's perfectly natural. So there has to be a little bit of discipline there. Like I went to this show in California, and there was this famous guy there, and he walked up to me, and I asked him a question, and he knew I felt kind of uncomfortable about it because I thought he was going to say no right off the bat, no. But after talking with him for a while, I realized that there's that type of successful person that never says the word no. They always find a different way of expressing themselves, even if it is a no. So there is a level of depth, discipline, even in the most casual manner of being, if you want to maintain an open mind for growth, achievement, goals, not being bored, just being happy in your life and having a certain level of contentment or living at a higher level of awareness for the rest of your life. Like there's just that subtle manner that is a habit or routine that if you change, let's say that subtlety is 1%. If you're like say this is your car and you want to go to California, so California is right here. And if you change this trajectory by 1%, you're not going to make it to California. Now, if you change that trajectory that little bit of innocence and that little bit of manner of saying no unintentionally, if you change that, that's a 1 degree change. And over a large period of time, you will see a great degree of change that has happened from that. And then I want to talk to Ava about her doing it once.
But
Another great,
yeah,
hmm?
going back to that 1%, I do completely agree with that because, sometimes it takes that, um, time and we tend to analyze things and then we're like, yeah, all right, I'll do it. But at least give yourself that, that time to, I'm not saying like, because sometimes people, you approach somebody, it's like, hey, do you want to try this? Like, no. Well, maybe they're growing
Yes.
excited and that's why they're saying no. And we're not really
Yes.
talking about that. In more sense, we're talking about the that growth, personal growth, and having that curiosity for life. Why
Hmm.
wouldn't you? Like,
Yes.
you're here,
Yes.
there's so much to explore. It's such a big world. If you always done things and you're bored out of your mind, why not try something new, right? So
Yes.
it goes in a lot of different ways with this, but basically a point is that, do something exciting with your life if you haven't in a while,
Hmm.
and embrace, all these wonderful things we can do. And then, instead of throwing, well, I can't do that because this or that, there's so many different things you can do. Even reading a book, if you've never read one, is already open-mindedness, I would say. That one
Yes.
little thing.
Yes.
And what was your question, Nikki?
It wasn't a question. It was a thing about trying it once and saying
Mhm.
no. Because like reading a book or watching your favorite show or your favorite movie or a rerun, you see something in the first time and then you do it again, even if you say, no, I don't like that, or whatever, or that's not for me, or whatever. But if you look at it the second time, it's not that you're looking at something and then you see it and you think, oh, I didn't see that, or I didn't experience that the first time. It's not that you're seeing something new in the movie. It's not that you're reading something new and seeing something new in the book. It's that you're seeing something new in yourself. And that is the important part. So
That's
I
a golden
challenge you,
nugget.
Eva, do it twice.
But it's true
Off
that
with you.
that's definitely a golden nugget right there, Nikki. I absolutely love it. So, um, yeah, there's so many wonderful things out there in the world. So why should you choose an open mindset? Basically, the power of an open mindset isn't just theoretical, it's transformative, right? So when you embrace the world with curiosity, resilience, and a hunger for growth, you become basically unstoppable. And your professional life opens up with new possibilities. Your personal life flourishes, and professional life too, and deepens in connections with others. And your mind becomes a fertile ground for creativity, innovations, and breakthroughs. So, it gives you so much. If you're here, might as well live a more fulfilling life.
Yes. I'm going to give you an example too. Are we closing here?
Almost.
Okay. I'm going to give you a story for an example on what Eva is talking about here. My grands was 104 years old when she died.
Wow.
I know. She was living alone until she was 96 or 98. But the day she passed, she was in assisted living, and the nurse called and said, she's asking for you. She doesn't want to wait until visiting hours. You better come. So I went in the morning and she looked childlike almost, with her innocence and her joy and her vigor. And she said, one, she's a learner, she's a dedicated learner. She said, I learned my last lesson today. And here's the privilege you got at 104. I said, what is it? She said, I'm not telling you. So there's your privilege when you're 104 and you learn something new.
Wow.
But she was so dedicated to her growth and her learning. Then she said, I'm leaving today. And she was very happy. She was one of the most distinctive, happy, healthy people that I've ever come to know because she was a dedicated life learner. And she even learned a valuable nugget that fulfilled her to the point of saying, I'm leaving, and so we had to celebrate her leaving that afternoon. Like that is a life filled with everything right,
Yeah.
and all of us deserve that,
She
you know,
definitely died happy soul.
and that was an open mind all the way, all the way.
Wow. I love that. So the question
Yes,
is for you guys, which mindset will you choose? In this journey of personal development, the question we must always ask ourselves, are we open to change, growth, new possibilities, or are we clinging to our comfort zones and resisting evolution? So ask yourself today that question. Journal if you have to, and I actually insist that you do. That's the tip. And we'll see you guys on our next collective growth mindset discussion, and we'll post what the next topic is about. So thank you for joining us today. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Thank you, Nikki, for being here with me today.
Thanks, Ava. It's
You're
always
welcome.
nice to be with you. Keep me on my toes.
And you keeping me on my toes too. All right. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye bye.